Can we wait for a while? I'll ask Prof. Asad to join in again.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Alhamdulillah, Prof.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so can we start now, Prof?
Yeah, we can. There's no issue.
Okay. All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. We meet again in this KICT research seminar. So to get more barakah for this event, can we start our session with Umar Kitab Al-Fatihah? Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. All right, so we are going to have another research seminar today. First of all, I would like to do a brief introduction for our speaker, Prof. Asadullah Shah. Basically, he's a well-known professor in KICT. And he's also the head coordinator of Research Unit 4, which is social media platforms, e-learning and education. And he was currently appointed as the head IUM journal. So today we are going to listen to his talk with the title Virtual Learning and Assessment Methods. So Professor Asadullah, the platform is yours now.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Azura, and thank you giving me the chance to speak about the topic. So I'm new to this topic also. Anyway, I tried my level best to explore and explain. Also, I reviewed the papers and so on and so forth. Can you see my slides?
Not yet, Prof. Can you share?
Let me share my slides. Can you see that now?
Yes.
Okay, so my title of the talk today is Virtual Learning and Assessment Methods. And inshallah, I'll try to finish this talk in half an hour. I may not take too many questions because I have another meeting at IUM Press soon after this. Things which we are going to discuss is introduction about assessment and learning methods, basic types, we all know, and evaluation methods also, because learning methods, evaluation methods, and measurement methods are three plates coming together, but we will only talk about learning methods and evaluation methods, and we will not talk about measurement methods. Approaches used for assessment, assessment tools and technologies, conclusion, where I can give you some of the literature reviews I did from the prominent researchers who did work on learning and assessment methods, evaluation methods as well, from United States, and I've provided a list of those papers and just compare that. What are those basically methods are more prominent than many others. The student assessment has changed in the new millennium. As you know, the new technologies are basically replacing the traditional paper and pencil methods. Online learning and assessment has become a new educational paradigm, gaining popularity at all levels of education institutions, including higher education. Using latest technologies, students have freedom to choose when, where, and how they wish to learn and be assessed for the grading. And this also leads towards the smart learning concept, which is very much available in Western world. So let us see what is assessment. Basically, assessment is the process of gathering information on what students know based on their educational experience. The results are typically used to identify areas where improvement is needed and ensure that the course content meets learning needs or learning objectives of the course. And these assessment methods are equally needed by the tutor, the teacher, the lecturer, and the students to find out the weaknesses, if any, in the methods and improve upon those weaknesses. So the purpose is the goal of assessment is to evaluate and improve student learning. But the objectives can vary slightly depending on the type of assessment that is used. Okay. So there are two basic types of assessment. All we know it about formative assessment and summative assessment. Formative assessment occurs within an online course or lesson are used to determine how well a student is learning the material. They are based when they are ongoing. So the difference between formative and summative is formative is basically continuous assessment, but it is looked as the indicator to the tutor that how well the students are progressing and performing about the course. The purpose here is basically to provide the critical feedback to the learners. I don't think that many of us basically use it that way. This is ideally that formative methods are basically to assist students on their weaknesses found immediately after that assessment method has been executed, and then inform the students, even the tutor himself can improve upon the method of assessment. Summative assessments are sometimes referred to the final exam and measure what the student has learned after completing a course. They are validated how well your content supports the course overall learning objectives. We'll compare in this slide. When you see this formative and sessive, there are three questions: when, why, and how. When, why, and how. So when we talk about the formative methods, when part, then throughout the course. So formative assessment is carried out throughout the course. Why? Identify gap and improve learning. Many of us may not be doing it the way it should be, including myself. And how? Why approaches that support specific student needs. Approaches meaning here is methods of learning and methods of assessment. Okay, what approaches you adopt in order to support the specific task to the students. When you look at the summative assessment, this is basically at the end of the instructional period, meaning when course is over, you are finally summing up and finalizing the grades. Why? Collect evidence of students' knowledge, skills, and proficiency. And via exit learning products are cumulative assessment. So when you see this how part, this can either be the final exam or it can be in a way so that you can accumulate together the assessment and finalize the grade. Okay, so the basic difference between formative is it's informed to the students and find out the weaknesses and improve upon those weaknesses. And summative assessment, you are not going to inform to the students what they have achieved until the final grades are provided. Another way you can see this is like that, because you know that these three things come together: assessment, measurement, and evaluation, and they are usually known as the triplets. Okay, we only will be talking about assessment methods and evaluation methods here. We are not talking about measurement methods. So if you look at this formative versus summative evaluation, then you see that there is a purpose, frequency, area covered, administrative utility, feedback to students, and feedback to faculty. So when you talk about purpose, very first top row, formative, you are basically detect strength and weaknesses. Okay? And summative is overall achievements. When you see the frequency during or end of the unit, unit referring here is the class or is a chapter or a section. Okay, unit does not mean the course complete. And summative is in end, point of certification or promotion. Area covered, one unit or number of units. As I said, unit is the number of lecture, number of chapters you cover. And summative assessment is carried out throughout the course. Course content. Administrative utility, advisory, not always for permanent record. So here you are not going to basically record and consider in their summative part. The purpose here is to basically advise them to improve. And summative is decisive for permanent records, meaning that here, whatever they have achieved is basically the final one. No advisory anymore. Advisory at this part, continuously you are going to provide them. Feedback to students done immediately. So soon after you conduct a test, you have applied a evaluation method, and you need to inform to the students immediately. Inform grading, pass or fail, because this is the final one. So summative is basically the final one. Yeah. So this is immediate, this is at the end. Feedback to faculty, if significant number shows error, then weakness in instruction. Overall pass or fail. Okay. You see that these are two evaluation methods regarding formative and summative evaluation. So one is for the final, one is for the end, one is for the total course, one is for the permanent records, and finalizing the grades, pass or fail or whatever. But the other one, formative one, is basically temporary, not necessarily it is permanent. And it is to basically inform students where the weaknesses are found and how they can overcome the weaknesses, including the evaluation method used by the lecturer. He can also improve if errors are so many of them and they cannot pick up, can change. If you compare this with Bloom's taxonomy, we are talking about methods now, online assessment methods. Then this figure has been taken from this website, you see on the headings. And this is knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation. These are the assessment methods which can be used. Because be careful that assessment methods may not be applied throughout the levels of Bloom's taxonomy or throughout the levels of formative and summative method, summative evaluation also. So knowledge checking, you can use multiple choice, true, false, match, filling in blank, short answer, flashcards, games, quizzes, and so on. Yeah, mostly these are basically supply type questions, where you supply the answer, and answer is chosen, picked up are ticked or circled by the student. And many people for this part provide the penalty to the students, meaning negative marking with the proportions and comprehension. The methods are used basically the simulation, animation, and tutorials. When you come to the third level of application, multiple choice question, short answer, essay, tutorial, simulation, game, and case studies can be used. Okay, whatever the suitable way you feel is suitable for the particular course. And analysis, synthesis, and evaluation, mostly multiple choice, essay, project, portfolio, simulation, presentation, paper, virtual labs, case studies can be used. Because these are mentioned that you have a choice, and you have a very big choice that you can choose from. Another illustration, another figure here, which categorically classifies that which can be used in which case. Say, for example, formative assessment. Formative assessment, mostly the discussions, blogs, boards, chats, quizzes can be used. Formative and assessment method, they overlap. Case studies, papers, self-assessment, as you have seen in the previous slide as well, simulation, animation, reflective journals, and virtual labs and games can be used. Only for summative is project, portfolio, and presentation. So you see that you have specific classification of those methods which you can basically use for a particular assessment methods. Let us talk about assessment and evaluation. Of course, of students, there are various methods provided by the researchers, such as there are so many, but I just highlight 9 of them. Online quizzes, easy question, essay questions, drag and drop activities, online interviews, dialogue simulations, online polls, surveys, game type activities, and peer evaluation and review, and forum polls. Yeah? Forum polls. Yeah? So you see that these are, which I will discuss one by one and show you the pros and cons, mostly the pros, that when they can be used and when they cannot. So starting with the first quizzes, online quiz are traditional method, but when paired with technology, they are an excellent way to engage student learning. Okay? So quiz questions can take several forms, such as multiple choice, fill in the blanks, true and false. As you know that these all questions fall under the supply type questions. Supply type questions meaning here that you supply the answer. You give them a choice, the base choice. You give them true or false, one to be taken from there, or fill in the blanks, still you give the choice. So here, I personally believe that there should be some penalty, otherwise guesswork of student might work. Okay, to avoid that, it should be some kind of penalty, 1/4 half of it, something like that. What is the benefit of quizzes? Is short and easy to assess and question order. An option can be randomized, so each student quiz is unique. So mostly tools are available, which I'll talk about it, who can help you in quizzes. And randomization meaning that every student will have a same set of questions in a different sequence, but their sequence will be different. So online quizzes are ideal for measuring learning results across a wide audience. It's very, very ideal situation when you have 50 or 100 students. It is very difficult to assess them, but quizzes where they're fast and they should be answered correctly. And there is one correct key for all those questions and easily to be assessed. Well, a non-graded online quiz can be given prior to the start. Some people believe that you can start quiz before you even start your lesson. Okay, so this is pre-assessment of the level of the student. Okay, which can give you the overall experience the students have, and then after teaching that, you perform another quiz and see how much improvement they have made, how much effective is basically the course outcome or learning outcome of that unit. Another one is open-ended. When they say open-ended, is a qualitative assessment method. And basically open-ended is to explore their thoughts, feelings, and opinions. yeah, and while testing their overall comprehension of the topic. So open-ended questions are usually small questions, expected questions where students have to basically explore and write, especially their expression power, yeah, critical thinking kind of things. Okay, to encourage critical thinking, evaluation higher level learning, essay questions require a longer time for students to think, organize, and compose their answers. And because they are open-ended, and so everybody might have a different answer, different explanation, and so on and so forth. But it should be not too long. They are not open-ended long questions, open-ended short questions. Then you have drag and drop activities. This can also be used as an assessment method to show ability to link information, apply knowledge to solve a technical problem. Okay, and when you want learner to be able to apply knowledge in a real life situations, you see that you create a scenario and provide the chance that they can match with the answers and apply that to the real life scenarios. Online interviews is the fourth method, which is used to demonstrate the proficiency. Yeah? Students can demonstrate their proficiency in language, music, and other courses. And it is beneficial to conduct group interviews for team project reports and so on and so forth. Interview can also include a mentoring component, enabling students to get immediate feedback from instructor. Okay, so when it is a face-to-face, this is a real time, then interviews can help students to improve upon their consistency. Dialogue simulations is a way to train learners for real live conversation with customers, yeah? Colleagues and others. Okay. When creating a conversation activity based on a situation that a student may face on the job, let them know what to expect and provide a safe place to practice their reactions and responses. Okay, so this is where you are going to basically train them, especially for the interviews outside world. Yeah, dialogue simulations, for example, can help your student master sales and customer services skills, or test how well they are prepared for a job interviews. Yeah, online polls, which is basically a survey type. Polls allow you to capture feedback directly from your audiences, yeah, about their learning experiences. They can be used to measure anything from learning satisfaction to why a student made a particular choice during a lesson. Yeah? So it gives you more hands-on and the choice, and of course the why the choice. Online surveys are highly engaging for learners because they allow them to share their opinions, make themselves heard, and are quick to complete. So you can also use poll questions when you want to quickly grab and focus your learner's attention on something important, break the iceberg, an online group interview session, okay? And so on. So, yeah, this is one of those polls which can be used on a Likert scale. The scale can be more than that. If it is a continuously being measured, if it is a discrete measure, then you can have at least 5, okay, from strongly disagreed families. You have questions on the side and let them fill up their part, and it is quick, fast to be assessed. And once submitted, the results are basically displayed. Game type activities, very common, especially can be serious games or non-serious games. From a series of test questions into a game. For example, a trivia game might ask learners to answer a certain number of questions within a period of time and award points based on the number of correct answers. Okay? Actually, the game-based learning is good indicator of true skills and knowledge. And it enhances learning by promoting the development of non-cognitive skills such as discipline, risk-taking, collaboration, and problem solving. Peer evaluation, this is basically the students can evaluate themselves, yeah, and instructor seats and allow students to review and edit each other's work. Such activities give each participant a chance to reflect on their knowledge and communicate their feedback in a consistent and structured way. Forum posts is an online discussion board organized around a topic and asking students to contribute to a forum post in an excellent way to gauge their understanding, their interest. Of course, the teacher also participates to support their learning. In this activity, students are given a critical thinking questions based on a lesson or a reading. Okay? And use this method when you want learners to interact, communicate, and collaborate as part of the learning process. Yeah, these all methods are given in reference number 1, which is basically given in the end of this presentation, and you can refer it to have further know-how about it. Now let us talk about the tools available. Okay, iSpring Suite. There are technological tools available which you can make use of them. Some of them are license-free, open source. You can make use of these for your particular purpose. Yeah, there isn't any comprehensive one common which I came across through which can do all the assessments in one go. There are certain tools available which can do multiple of things together, as we have mentioned, multiple of methods together, which you can basically use. Yeah? This is the first one. It allows you to create interactive quizzes, surveys, dialogue simulation, and students assessment, as well as PowerPoint-based courses, video tutorials, interaction. So you see, it is having multiple of it, but may not be all of them. Okay. So this is a software available which you can make use of it. It doesn't look too difficult. It can be used. I guess this is open source and free, which can be used. So creative is basically the quiz making tool that enables you to create a test with multiple choice, true, false, and short answer questions. If you look at this here, then you have MCs, true and false, short answer questions. You can create through this regarding your course or regarding your unit, okay, unit of teaching, okay. And of course, there are some additional facilities provided to encourage students. Spiral is a set of 5 apps for formative assessment. So see, this is mostly focusing on formative assessment. You can provide assessment in a real time and hear from all of your students, turn slides into a discussion thread, let students create and share collaborative presentation, and turn video into a live chat and questions and quizzes. You see that this is a composite software which can basically allow you, help you in a formative assessment, okay, which is basically ongoing process. I must say is temporary, indicating the weaknesses and its strength, and probably you can change the methods you like if that doesn't suit to the group of students. Okay, so this is specifically for formative assessment. Peer Grade, this is another software, is an online platform for posting peer feedback sessions with the students. Once you set up your assignment, learners start working on and then submit the work, text files, video links, and even Google Docs. Students can review each other's work and act on the feedback. Okay. There is also a teacher overview where they can see everything that is happening in the assignment. Yeah. So both student and teacher can see what is happening on the particular topic given to the group of students and how they are basically acting upon what type of data they are basically discussing, loading, and so on. Then Edu Puzzle is a tool designed especially for working with videos. It allows both teacher and students to add vice versa. Yeah. So students or teacher, they can add resources, comments, and quizzes to videos. Instructors can also check if learners are watching videos, how many times they have watched each section, and if they comprehend the content. Okay, so this is another software. Mentimeter lets you build interactive presentation within 13 interactive question types, yeah, including word clouds and quizzes, and see how the students vote on, respond to questions, and engage with the presentation in real time. Yeah, this is another software which can basically help with all kinds of files you have. Google Forms, we all are using them, is a way which is usually used for the survey purpose and graded quizzes. And you can create multiple choice and short answer questions. So usually this Google Form is also a way that is used for mostly the formative methods. If you wish to have it. Yeah, Quizlet is very similar to Kahoot. It lets you choose from over 12,000 official releases, test to teacher created resources or allow you to build your own. Okay, so this is another software. Yeah, Nearpod is another software which is using basically the web-based tools. Yeah? Interactive classes with engaging activities like virtual reality, simulation, gamification quizzes. Also, students with formative assessment, including polls, open-ended questions, yeah, and so on and so forth. And finally, this is Fluency Tutor. Okay, is designed to track and assess students' oral reading progress. Yeah, you can share reading passages with your classes and receive recordings of the assigned passages and so on. So you see that these tools can be used at various levels of learning and assessment and basically evaluation, not necessarily at higher level, can also be at the school level or lower level methods. But you have to pick up the right tools. One or two, I think, will be sufficient for university level, higher degree level of assessment and evaluation. There are other technologies also available, okay, which are basically not, some of them are being used, but others may be used in addition to what is technologies available. So, say for example, assessment and survey tools, you have all these examples given on the right hand side of this table. Asynchronous communication like emails, announcement, discussion forums, messages. Digital repositories are also there. Management and administration tools, Turnitin, Gradebook, iGoogle, My Yahoo. Yeah, photo sharing is also there. Podcasting, streaming is also there. These can also be used as additional technology tools. Share documents, yeah, which we are also using them. Google Docs, Zoho Writer, SlideShare, a lot of them we every day use them, or also can be used as technology for assessment and learning, and also some of them for evaluation. Other technologies such as social bookmarking, given their social networking, which is given their subscribe content delivery, which is also their synchronous communication, yeah, which is basically live online. Yeah, the session what we are having is now is a synchronous communication mode, okay, which is mostly the monologue mode. So I'm talking, you are listening, but it can be conversational as well. The virtual world, yeah, and then weblogs and macroblogs and wikis are basically also available. So you see that a lot of technologies are basically available in order to make use of these technologies in assessment, evaluation, and of course, though we did not talk about measurement very well, but can be used for that purpose. Okay, let me share this literature review which I did regarding this presentation from some of the universities of states. Some teachers have used this basically these methods in various classes over the time period, and a study was carried out to see what are basically the assessment methods or methods being used by different teachers for different classes. Yeah, so you see that from studies, 5 categories of assessment were found. So you see that is in the very first one, you see this writing, discussions, field work, quiz and examination, mid and end, and presentation. This is the author which use these methods, 5 methods, in order to have formative assessment as well as summative assessments. S1, number 3 paper here is found 6 methods of assessment. Yeah, discussion, papers, written assignments, projects, quizzes, and group work. Arrange 4, paper number 4, found 7 assessment methods: online discussions, examinations, written assignments, problem assignment, experimental assignment, experimental especially when you are dealing with the science subject, quizzes, and 7th is the journals, reflective or synthesis journals. Yeah. The next author, which is in 5, identifies 6 methods: projects, portfolios, self-assessment, peer evaluation and feedback, time tests and quizzes, and asynchronous discussion. Yeah. So when you look at this areas of concern by the 6th author that's given out of this all, identifies areas of concern is time management, which is usually the issue, is student responsibility and initiative. Another issue, structure of online medium is another concern. Complexity of the content is another. Informal assessment, which is non-verbal observation, task performance, on and off task behavior, body language. These are basically some of the areas which need to be thought before you go for any of those formative or summative methods. This is my final word. Online assessments are a critical part of e-learning and should be undertaken with the same level of care and regard that you put into creating your learning content. The good news is that you don't have to be a programming genius to build them. There are many online assessment tools that allow you to generate engaging tasks for online evaluation. Use your way to assess students' learning and related software to align your needs and the results you want to achieve. These are the references. Number 1 was given in the middle of the slides. The rest, all references are given over there. They all talk about student assessment in online learning. Okay? So you see that the titles, virtual interactions, design factor affecting student satisfaction and perceived learning. Number 3, course assessment practices in student learning. Number 4, number 5 is effective online instructional and assessment strategies. Yeah. Details are given. Number 6 is emerging patterns to transforming assessment. Okay, so thank you very much. I told you in the beginning, I'm not the person of this field, but I'm trying to learn more like other beginners do. So this is what I presented to you. Of course, I don't want to share my experience, which I have done at my previous semester. Okay. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Prof. Asad, for the sharing. And I believe that this is a close related topic for us, because with this current pandemic situation, what we can do, we can only afford with the online, using the online platform for our teaching and learning, and also the workshops and so on. All right. So thank you also for sharing with us the the list of the online tools that we can use. So we cannot rely only on the Kahoot, quizzes, and Google Form only. So there are many more tools, online tools that we can use for our online teaching in our classes. All right. If you have any questions, audience, please, you can chat. Yes.
I'll just take one or two questions because another meeting is waiting for me. So.
All right, sure, Prof. All right. If you have any question, you can write inside the chat box or unmute and then ask questions. Yes.
Assalamualaikum Prof.
Walaikum salam.
I'm sure this question is very obvious. I think we want to know about how do we make or how do we maintain the integrity of students when they answer the question, like online quiz, etc., etc.
Yeah, I can share my experience that what I did this time is allow a little bit liberty to the students. Maybe you don't basically have just an individual rather than you can have a group. So if they can discuss in a group, you allow them. Okay, even if it's a quiz or it is anything which you feel that they might be cheating upon each other or something like that, but I think you allow them to do it in a group. So I did it in a group and it worked very well. So you make a group in the beginning and you say, this is quiz for you. Okay, I don't know what you are doing is basically, and you another way you can perform and all will get, of course, because in a group, so answer will be same for that group, 2 or 3 people. Other way, I think, to avoid this is randomization. Yeah, time limit and randomization. Of course, these are very big concerns nowadays, but randomization of the questions. I think if you are performing a quiz, something like that, is online, you don't know who is where and who is with whom. At least you can reduce this kind of tendency by randomizing. Of course, we don't say you have altogether a separate quiz, which is not possible if you have very big number of students. So especially if you sequence the question in a random form, a random way, I think you can reduce the effect. But I'm not sure there is no foolproof way that you can completely disallow our students cannot. I think still they can. But this is the way you can. And then the thing is, if such kind of activity is there, then you basically choose the proportion of marks, not too much. Maybe 5% marks on quizzes. Even if they do cheating, hardly they can get is 5%. So I suggest this way.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mazna, for the question. We have another question from Dr. Rizal in the chat box. What's your opinion about having video enabled by the students at least once or during the duration of the course? There must be a minimal requirement. Course hard to guarantee there is engagement in the first place.
Can I have the question again?
What's your opinion about having video enabled by the students at least once or during the duration of the course? There must be a minimal requirement because hard to guarantee there is engagement in the first place. It's in the chat box.
Yeah, I think this is again a very typical question. What to say about it is it's very difficult how to handle that. Okay, so we experience all that. I've also experienced that that the students, they just close their videos and kind of things. You don't know exactly who's there, who's not. I don't see any direct solution to that. But what I suggest is such things where their involvement is very much needed and you want to guarantee them to be there, then I think you twist to the minimal proportion of assessment marks on that. I don't know whether I answered your question or not, but I feel this is how it can be done.
All right, thank you, Dr. Rizal. I guess I just read a statement from Prof. Roslina here. The online polls or surveys are effective for my students for many years now. What's your comment, Prof?
Yeah, I think this is quite okay, as long as this is conducted by the students and over the years, and you feel that. So it's quite effective. We have seen that this method is already matured and is in place. So if that is being conducted by the Prof for so many years and which is quite effective, then you can keep it as formative as well as summative methods. There's no problem.
All right, so I guess that's all for today, Prof. So can we close our session with Tasbih Kifarah and Suratul As? All right, thank you, Professor, for giving a nice talk, interesting talk, and thank you also to the audience for your
thank you, thank you, everybody.
All right,
I hope I answered as well as I tried my level best, because, as I said, I'm moving my focus now on e-learning and learning and permissive learning and assessment methods and smart learning. So I'm trying to learn myself and try to come up with the solutions, maybe in future, better solutions, better ways to assess our students, evaluate them and measure them. Measurement is another part of this talk, how to measure that particular assessment method. Yeah.
All right.
So thank you very much once again. I have another meeting to join that.
All right, sure.
Alhamdulillah, then I hope Allah will give us courage and courage to share the knowledge what we have learned throughout our life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amin. Okay, thank you all. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.